Welcome back to Digitally Assembled. My name is Stephen Howard, better known as Gallet on Instagram and Flickr, and today I've got a really special episode in store for you. But before we get into that, I want to give a special thanks to Matt Smith of the metal band Theocracy for making me that incredible intro song that you just listened to. I had to make an animation worthy of it, so I hope all of you enjoyed that. I've been watching Corridor on YouTube for years. They are absolutely one of my favorite channels on the platform. And about 7 years ago, I found out about their secondary channel, Corridor Crew, where they go into the behind the scenes of how they make some things, how their operations work day to day, how VFX artists react, a lot of really cool things that they put out today. But 7 years ago, there was behind the scenes for the Lego video Midas Touch that they did on Corridor. On Corridor Crew, Wren was talking about how he was struggling to put this video together, how he was having a difficult time to make a BMW into Lego when Sam would touch it. And the frustrations and the difficulty he was having hit me really well. Because at the time, I was doing a robotics animation for my company, Maxar, which was Space Systems L'Oreal back in the day. And I was running into difficulty after difficulty in Cinema 4D, and I just couldn't figure out why some of the rigging was just not working. So I went to YouTube just to kind of let off some steam, and I ran across this video, and I was like, these guys get it. They go through the same struggles. And I've been hooked ever since. Since then, I wanted to do something to thank them for the awesome stuff they do. Years ago, I made a large, digitally animated figure based off of Clint Jones when he was still working at Corridor. And since then, I have been building off of this figure's platform to have large-scale, rigged, animated figures in Cinema 4D. And today, we're going to go into how I use that same rigging platform to build a character based off of Wren Weichman, riding his favorite thing, the one wheel, crashing, falling apart into 1,000 pieces, sorry Wren, and then looping again to create what I would call a satisfying render. So, let's jump into it. The first thing I needed to do was to create Wren in Lego, and I used Bricklink Studio, my digital Lego platform of choice, which you can find on the web for free. After I finished designing Wren, I exported him as a collada file, and using Autodesk's free FBX converter, I converted it to FBX so I could import into Cinema 4D. Once I had imported the figure into Cinema 4D, it was time to set up the very tedious process of getting all the parts optimized and textured so that they could then be properly rigged and animated. It was very important for me that every single piece was individually textured and set apart, because I was going to later use a collision to cause them to go in 1,000 different directions. This process took hours and hours and hours to do. Normally when I rig something like this, I'll just use a T-pose from Mixamo. But because I liked the pose that Wren was in on the one wheel, I had to make a custom rig, similar to a Mixamo rig, but a little bit adjusted, so that he'd be fixed to his one wheel and bounce along with it as I hand animated him. everything was set up on the rig, it was time for me to hand animate the entire thing. I gotta tell you, a lot of this stuff was not captured because there comes a point in time when I'm working on a project of this scale and this magnitude that is using so much processing power of my computer that I can't risk running my screen capture software while I'm trying to process all these intense collision dynamics. Originally I had intended to render this through Octane, but Octane kept crashing because there's too many things for it to calculate. So I had to, at last minute, change all the textures to Arnold and switch to Arnold to do the rendering, which could go off of my CPU and not my GPU. Granted, this took about 6-7 hours longer, but the end result was the same as I had intended. So now, let's check out the end result. So what do you guys think of this experiment? Specifically you, Wren. What did you think, man? I hope you really liked it. Keep doing what you're doing, man. You're a huge encouragement and inspiration to a lot of VFX artists like me. Until next time, God bless, take care. Bye.